Okay. I am going to go over a couple of things that we got at convention. We are recording, so that way we can always go back and look at all of this. And any of your team that's not on, we'll need to refer them to this as well because it's very important. But first, I'm just going to go over some different key points that I really wanted to touch base with you guys. I know a lot of you have kind of gotten to some places where you kind of get frustrated with not knowing what to do or am I saying something wrong. So I really feel like this information is super helpful. So just really wanted y'all to really be attentive on this one. So this is psychology of the pitch. All right, so I want you to read this twice. So sales are emotional, not logic. So don't overthink this. You do not have to have all of the answers to any of the concerns that you think they may have. And I think this is the number one issue that we probably have is we think we have to have the answer to everything that they possibly could ask, even things that they haven't asked in your mind, you're thinking they're going to be asking. Um, Remember, cells are emotional. So that means all the logical stuff that you're processing in your head, it becomes very overwhelming to them. And that's when they back up because they think this is so complicated. I'm not gonna be able to do this. So people buy into when they feel something, they do not even know it. All right. So monkey see and monkey buy. Our brain mirrors what it sees. So for instance, when you're talking with someone, if you're confident, you're calm, you're excited, they can feel that. If you're unsure, needy, if you sound salesy, they also can feel that. And that's not something that normally attracts someone to a business. All right. So this is what we refer to as the yes ladder. So if you kind of think of all of these different steps that you can go up to, each small yes makes the next yes easier for them. So when you jump into a conversation and just go straight up, do you want to join my business? Well, that's a big yes to give. So that's really going to turn them away. So that's why we say it's very important to build relationships with these people. And here's some, that's what say micro, but small micro yeses. So this is different, some examples that makes a yes easy that could lead to a bigger one. So when you say, does that sound like something that you would want? Well, of course that does. Of course, that would make sense for someone to say, yes, that sounds like I would want to stay home with my children. Who wouldn't want to do that? So that would be easy. Yes. Can I send you a 2-minute voice note? They're going to probably say yes. So each yes equals momentum and safety. So the more they're saying yes to you, you're building trust with them. They're showing you that they trust you. And so when it comes down to it and you've discussed everything, the last yes is going to be a lot more easier because they trust you and they've gotten to know you through the process. So the most powerful yes isn't the last one, it is the one that didn't feel like a sale. All right, the confident close. If I didn't believe that I could help you, I wouldn't have even brought this to you, but I do. So let's get you started. Do y'all see how confident that sounds? A lot of times when you are, it is 199. I've done this, but I'm still going through stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I would never join because that sounds very intimidating. It sounds like you don't know how to do it, so why would I know how to do it? And you're supposed to be the one that knows it all. So if you can't do it, I can't do it. That's how I'm gonna feel. So we need to remember, so certainty and service is what's convincing. So when I'm confident, I know exactly what you need. I know what your issue is, and I'm telling you, I can service you. I can provide services to help you do this. That's pretty convincing. After you after your closing question and you say silent, this is something they taught us. Prospects are 3 times more likely to accept. So that awkward silence at the end, if you're just word vomit, like, okay, blah, 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 okay, they're going to feel very pressured and that's when they don't feel safe. So no one wants to jump into a business where they feel like, okay, this is something that they're definitely just needing me for another number. I feel very pressured. I'm backing out of this. Whenever you give them time to process it and to think on it, that's when they feel safe and they don't feel pressured in it. And it makes it easier for them to say yes. The call out objection. So name the objection before they do. Example, most say that they don't have time, but really it is about trust that this could work for them. Turn resistance into rapport. So, a lot of times when I'm talking to a person, I've already kind of gotten to know them. For instance, I may know, I talked to someone today actually. It's a guy and his wife. They used to be, well, they still are in ministry, but he also works another job. His wife works another job. So I already know before I talk to them, their concerns are going to be, hey, is this going to be doable with my schedule? I work at the church, also have a job that I go to. Time's going to be an issue. So before they even have time to address that to me, I'm going to tell them how that is not going to be an issue. So I'm going to say, as you know, we have 4 kids. We are also in ministry. We're very active in the community. My kids are in sports. I have a team of 465. I'm able to do all of this. And honestly, it's not very stressful. Um, right now, I'm actually at someone else's house. This is something we can do on the go. This is why I did this, because it is very easy to do anywhere that you are with ministry or anything else. So I'm already going to meet them where they are before they even ask. So that's also why it's important to know exactly um, where they are. The value stack. All right, don't just explain the features, layer them. Transformation, support plus community equals outcome. Make what you feel heavier than what they pay. So this goes back to, if you are, very hesitant about, yeah, I know it's 199, and I know it's gonna be it's a little stretch, et cetera. They're not gonna buy into that. When you approach it of, you're literally telling them everything that they're gonna get, they're gonna feel like what they're getting is not as heavy as what they're paying into, if that makes sense. It's going to make it very easy to, are you serious? I'm going to be able to get all of this and solve all of these problems for just 199. All right. I know all of you have probably heard, I'll think about it. So people are really not bad decision makers. They're just surrounded by bad influence. And what they're doing is they're going off the vibe that you're giving them. So influence is not manipulation. It is actually empowerment. So when I tell someone, um, this is going to be good for you, this is actually what you need, I see where you are. I know you have kids at home. I know you live on a fixed income. I know that you can do this. This is not me manipulating them to want to be just a part of us. This is me telling them that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And a lot of times that's all people need, is the confidence that someone, at least somebody, sees in them that they're going to be able to achieve anything with this business. So use authority and be the expert. Without authority, there's no trust, and that means nothing's going to land. So share stories and results. If you don't have a story yet, share my story, share Heather's story, David's story. There's a bunch of stories that you can use and to leverage, to lean on. Whenever you, as you know, like, you could be very uncertain, not very authoritative, be almost questioning your information yourself. No one's going to trust that. So that's why it's very important to know the business, but not necessarily know the business of the numbers and the pay scale and all that. You need to know your business, as in, you need to know your story. You need to know why you're here. You need to know, why am I doing this? And this is actually something that y'all probably need to do tonight. Write down, why are you in this business? What's the point? What's the goal? What do you need out of this? Keep asking yourself questions, and honestly, it should make you emotional when you finally get to the root of why you're doing this. That's your story. So y'all all need to figure out what your story is, and that is what you're going to be presenting to everybody, not the details. You're going to present your story. All right, create FOMO. If you don't know, that means fear of missing out. So for instance, this weekend, when we was able to share all of the pictures, all the awards, the community, us hanging out as a group and stuff, when we share that, that's stuff that they're gonna want. A lot of times they're not even wanting to buy into a product. They're buying into your memories. They're buying into an experience. They're buying into, they have a problem and you have the answer to that. When you get down to it, it's not travel. That's never going to be the issue. Everyone travels. It's way deeper than that. So another thing is the amount of time that we become available. So this should actually lift a lot of weight and release it when I tell you this, and this is called boundaries. So first thing is limit your time. So there's a couple reasons why I'm going over this. One, yes, this is boundaries, as in you need to set a clear time of personal life and your work, business, family, and all of that. It's just everyone needs structure, everyone needs boundaries. You don't have boundaries, someone eventually is going to cross the line because you lied it the first time, and that's why it's going to continue to happen. But whenever, think of it this way, whenever we are presenting the business to people and they know I'm asking you to join the business now, but they know, hey, if I ask in 2 days or next week, they're still going to let me do it. That does not create a sense of urgency. So that's why we need to limit availability and limit the access to this. And so I'm going to go over in a couple minutes my plan on this. I think that's really going to help us out. But if it's always available, it is never urgent. And that a lot of times is why people are like, let me think on it. Yeah, I'll get back with you 2 months down the road. I'm still praying about it. Another month. Let me talk to everybody else in my family about it. Like it's gonna be a never ending cycle because there's no urgency. They know they are in control of the schedule. They are in charge of whenever they're gonna be able to join and so forth. So, all right. So this right here is talking about the delusional gap. This is big, um, especially for my type A personalities or my, if you don't know what the color thing is, there's a personality of color chart that y'all need to go listen to and it'll tell you. But green personality, this is people who are very big into, I've got to know everything. I've got charts. I've got the numbers set forth. I'm going to tell them all 10 ways to get paid. I'm going to tell them I get paid Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, next the 10th, the next Wednesday. I mean, it is so much information that they are leaving thinking I have no idea what just happened. So this is when logic does not sell. And I know this is going to be hard for some people to process, but if you just let that go, it'll probably release you of a burden. I feel like you have to have this all together. What sells this is your emotion. So people joined because they believe in something bigger. The gap between logic and belief is what we're going to refer to as the delusional gap. So right now in your mind, everybody that's thinking, I've got to have this together, I've got to know ABC, this is why I'm getting paid, this is what I'm getting paid from this company, and I've got to explain what the difference in this and this. You got to do all that. So everyone just take that, release yourself of it. Yes, you're going to know your business, but when you're talking to someone one on one for the first time, they don't got to know all that. All right. So how do we close it? All right. So here's who you get to become. Okay. Here's what is possible if you back yourself. Here's why this matters. So you sell the transformation, not the transaction. Sell the belief and not the breakdown. So they're joining you, you're closing it out. They're going to join you because of who they are going to get to become. They're going to join you because they realize they're going to get to retire early. They're going to join you because they've been trying to stay at home with their child and they can't because they can't afford not to. That's what you're closing in on. You're not closing in on 199. You get two business, mix in one gives you this many paychecks, this one gets you this one. I do travel. It's very, very overwhelming. And that's not, none of that is really needed. All of that's going to come because our businesses are so great. It actually does just evolve and you will be getting paychecks without knowing reasons why. You will be asking, hey, what's this for? That's because it's going to come easy. You just need to sell the emotional reason of why you do what you do. All right, the growth phase, numbers and charts. When you get your numbers and charts out, that is hidden doubt. That's what that tells them. That's telling them that you're not convinced yourself and you are trying to really, really hard break everything down as much as you can to try and convince them and show them that what you have is the right thing. They mirror your hesitation. So stop doing that. Even if you're new to the business, anytime you're hesitant, anytime you word things like, I think you'll like it. They're probably like, no, I'm actually not gonna like it because that sounded miserable. Like you do not seem like you like it at all. Whenever I'm excited, whenever I'm passionate, whenever I'm telling my story, that's what gets people to join. If I've ever had people like, how do you have so many people join in? And that's happened to several of you. It's never been because I sat down and gave a 45-minute presentation and then I gave them a video and then I sat back down with them and I gave them a pie chart and then I told them how many ways they get paid. They don't, it's never because of that. It's because of the vision. It's because you sell the vision that you have for your business. So, all right. So I say all of that to say this. This is something that we're going to start doing new. Nothing drastic is changing except for a couple of things. Everything is still the same. We still have the same travel group, we have the same guys, we have the same email. I'm going to tell you what's happening different is we are creating a sense of urgency for one reason. One, we're going to start with some boundaries of closing some deals in, or we're getting a yes or a no. So our next new agent launch, and we have a file we're going to send that you're going to give to everybody, is September the 18th at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. What I'm going to do on this launch is I'm going to go in and treat them, which they will be. There will be babies in the company. I'm going to go in, I'm sharing my screen. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to be building relationships with them. If they join before the 18th, that's perfectly fine. That's actually great. I'm going to have a chat. We will add this to this chat. Anybody in this chat is going to be the people who are loading up with information to get ready for this launch on the 18th. So what that means is I'm going to be making sure they're encouraged. We're going to be getting to know each other. We're building a community. I may daily give them, a link. Hey guys, this planner is something that you write really, I don't know, would help you in the business. Any kind of, anything that keeps them motivated, anything. We're going to build excitement. And on the 18th, when we launch this, by the end of that Zoom, I plan on them being ready to set their business up, and they should be ready to go. Minus, it does take a couple of days on some of the vendors, but they're going to be ready to go by the end of that. And I'm really praying that this helps them not feel overwhelmed. They're going to get a sense of community. And honestly, guys, there are so many friend groups that we get so close. Even if things were to go terrible, I ain't leaving. Like, my friends are in here. That's what it's all about. It's about like building a tribe with each other. So that's another reason why this is very, very important. I think it's going to make everybody really grow closer together. But it says really the main thing is creating a sense of urgency. So whenever we start to promote this, which could be tonight, the way we're presenting this business now, everything I just told you, all the information before, you know, we need to dumb this down. Tonight, I would write down your vision. I would figure out why you're doing what you're doing. You need to write that down. This is what you're going to start doing. And then you're going to tell them this. This is when our next available day is for launching all agents. So this is the date. What if they say, I need to think on it past that date? Okay, that's great. You can, but I do want to let you know that this is closing. Even if you have to put it off on me, our director is actually closing the day on September 18th at 7 o'clock. So that's perfectly fine, but you will have to wait until the next one to enroll. Then people are going to catch on. They're going to be trained to know, hey, this is the date after that. I would love to have you, but you can't do it right now. You're going to have to wait till the next day. So let me see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see if there's any questions or if anybody else can see it.
Hey, so there was not any questions about, Caitlin asked the best way to get on a personal level, and I just said, I don't know if you have anything to add to this. I said, get them offline, make it personal, and chat with them, get to know them.
Yes.
I do that, and I will, like, complete strangers. I will say something like, "So, do you work now? Are you currently working?" "Yeah." "Oh, yeah. Well, me too. I've been at my job, doing the same thing for 20 years. What do you do?" And we kind of chit chat back and forth to get to know each other. And then it makes them kind of believe in you. And like you said, Lindsay, they're
Mhm.
buying into you. They're buying into the person. And I just said, when you said that, it's about the energy. It's about your energy that
Mhm.
you're excited about what you're doing.
Right.
But that's the
So if
only
you don't
question.
have that energy and if you don't have that excitement, and if you find yourself in the business, when you talk to, if you find yourself being very hesitant or nervous to tell them the cost, that's because you either one, don't believe in the business yourself. So you need to figure out why you believe in this business. And if you want to talk to me, I can tell you why I believe in it. And I guarantee it'll encourage you to figure out when very quickly, because I could tell you I didn't know anything when I joined this at all. I still don't have the time, but I tell you what gets me going is me being excited and passionate because I don't have a degree. Even if I did, you ain't gonna catch me in the office for 9 hours a day. Ain't happening. I would just rather go without. Like, um, there's a lot of people that have that story. So you need to figure out why you're doing what you're doing. That's actually very, very important that you probably do this tonight. You need to figure out why you're doing this. And from today on, when we talk to people, yes, we have the Zooms. Yes, of course we have the business overviews. Yes, we have that. That's great. You're gonna probably learn though that most people don't even require that. There is a certain personality that probably does, and you can pick that out. But a lot of times people are gonna join when they feel the passion and when they are telling you what their problem is and you are giving them the answer to their problem. Um, why would you not want to do that for 199? Let's be honest. And hey, you know what? I know you got friends that are in the same boat as you are in right now. So go ahead and tell them about this. And if you want to, after we sign you up, we're going to turn around. You're going to sign them up. If you get 4 friends, you have 4 friends that you know that needs income, passive income, probably so. Okay, contact them. We're going to sign them up. And Thursday, you're going to get your investment back. No business ever would get you your complete overhead investment back in a week. Nobody. That's how you're gonna start growing. So, does this make sense about, um hang on, Christina, let me see what you said.
Complete transparency. It's super hard for me to share the business with excitement right now because my business isn't where I thought it would be by now, even though I've been busting my tail working this business for the last 2 years. So I've been feeling very discouraged.
Well, Christina, honestly, that is normal to go through seasons like that. I've definitely had seasons like that, but, sorry, there's a bug. Oh my gosh. That's what we're here for. So we're a family. So tell us what your issues are. I know I can throw some issues with y'all and we work it out together. Um, but I will say, as far as booking goes, once you start building your team and stuff, you're not even going to be looking at your bookings. I'm going to be honest. I never sit down and say, when is my bookings coming in? I never do that because I'm getting money on the 1st, on the 10th, on every Thursday.
Can I say something to piggyback off that?
Yeah.
Y'all, I just had a meeting with my team and I explained to them this. I said, think about this. I've been working my job for 24 years. 24 years I've been getting a paycheck. Okay. But let's just say, I work for a construction company. After the end of every job, okay, just say I get a bonus. So I'm getting my hourly paycheck every single week. But at the end of a job, I might get $1,000 bonus. Okay. So you got to think of this business the same way. If you start building, okay, if you start building and you have a team, you're going to get that residual income every single week. You're getting that paycheck. That travel is eventually going to be like a bonus. Just like I just explained, I have my full paychecks and then I'm getting bonuses. These travels become bonuses instead of the money that you're actually going, you're going, okay, let me go look at my commission to see, let me go see what kind of commission I got coming in next week to see what I can buy. You won't even have to worry about that. It will be a bonus. And on top of that, David said it perfect. Get in a room somewhere. Christina, I don't know where you are located, but you need to look and see where a Planet Marketing meeting is and get in a room somewhere. You will not be discouraged anymore. And then Mama Bradley said, I think the main issue with some of us newbies is that we haven't seen the big money yet, and getting to 9 people seems overwhelming, where we've been turned down several times. And I know that we'll start seeing them once you start seeing the money, it will start helping. Yes, it will. And everybody's journey is different with this. And I will tell you this, y'all, you did not see now. Lindsay can be, well, no, Lindsay's not different. And I'm going to say this. You did not see a lot of us when we first started. You didn't see us. And we didn't just hit gold builder right off the top. Lindsay worked the business for over a year, and did not have a team. So just think about that. She worked over a year before she got a team. It took me a long time, and I'm gonna tell you, when I got to like one more to gold, I think it took me months to hit it. But once you do, and you get that belief check, it is a game changer from there. The only way you can lose in this business is to quit. But I would like to know, Christina, if you tried at all, you say you're busting your butt, and I understand that, but are you busting your butt on the travel part, or are you busting your butt on the marketing, or are you busting your butt on both? Because I would like to know, and I know Lindsay would like to help you too, to see where you're struggling and what we can do to help you there. But get in the room is the main thing. You've got to get to a meeting. You've got to get to a meeting. And if y'all are anywhere near Atlanta, I will be in Atlanta this weekend. I would love to meet you there.
Yeah. And another thing, mom, well, I'm talking to mom, but everyone, this applies to everybody.
Yeah.
Um, when you start the business, you don't have a story yet. That's where I come in. That's where Heather comes in. You're borrowing our story. So my story, I joined, didn't know anything. The first year, I don't think that I made $2,000 the first year. It took me 3 months, I think, to book my first trip, and they were not traveling until 9 months later. So imagine that. A lot of you are doing way better than I did. So if I would have quit, I would have potentially missed out on that next year. I decided, okay, I'm going all in. I'm working both sides of the business. Um, I'm going to be committed because before I was not committed. I was not posting every single day. I was not in contact with people. I made $39,000. So imagine going from 2 to 39. This past year, I made 77,000, and this year, praying it goes up. So imagine if I would have let that first year completely destroy me to where I completely quit. I would have missed out on all of this. Um, Go ahead, Heather.
Okay. Um, I listened. It's crazy that y'all said that. I listened to a girl yesterday. We were sitting in the airport, getting delayed, trying to come back. But it's a girl that I follow on Facebook. She's from the Ukraine, and I have actually been in meetings with her and listened to her. And they have a whole team from people from the Ukraine. You know that their success stories are phenomenal. But she explained that she had tried all these different businesses and that everything would fail. Like she spent $10,000, I think, her and a business partner getting this kiosk in the mall. And when they got that kiosk in the mall, I don't know what they were selling, but it was like a thing that they had to sign an agreement saying, hey, this kiosk will be open at all times that the mall is open. And so she couldn't like go anywhere and go out of town because if a worker didn't show up, she had to show up to make sure it was open because that was like in the contract and no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They would be booted from that kiosk and they would not get their money back. And so she said that after a couple of, I think a year or so, it was like a 5 or 6 year contract, that she did not make any money. And so it was just more expensive for her to stay in the business than it was for her to just close the business and lose out on the contract and the money that she would have been paying. She tried a restaurant business. They had tried multiple businesses and nothing worked. So then she decided she wanted to stay at home with her kids and she tried this business. She said most network marketing businesses, most of them, you're not going to see real huge, big numbers until like the third or fourth year in. And she said, and when you do, it's a game changer. She said her first year, I think she said she made 100 and something dollars. But now she's making 6 figures and she's been in the business 4 or 5 years. So if y'all get a chance to go look at her story, go look her up. Her name is Yana and it's Yana, and the last name is Ponce, Ponce. Go listen to her stories. Go listen to that. And just that should be encouraging to you not to give up.
Mhm. Yeah. And a lot of this, guys, and you know this, is your mind frame. If your mindset is, I'm not seeing money yet, and this may not work for them, then that's what's gonna happen. I don't mean to sound so preachy, but it really is when you're saying those things in your mind, at least me, when I wake up, I can already tell when I wake up, I'm like on the wrong side of the bed and I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna happen. Well, it does happen because you know, I've just kind of set my day to be like that. So you have everything, you have all the resources. Like Heather just said, we've had people who hardly made anything. And simply because they didn't quit, we literally have making not even like I have a like for them to say I have $1 million network. No, no, they bring in salary millions of dollars because they didn't quit. Okay, so if your boss was to say, "Hey, will you stick this out with me for 10 years?" making $20 an hour, which is honestly still a lot to most people. So $20 an hour, but in 10 years you see that you're going to be making 1 million, would you do it? Duh. Yeah, of course I would. When you think of it that way, think of this way. Would you stay with this business even if you don't have amazing months every single month? Even if you don't book 500 trips, even if you don't have a team of 100 in a 1 year time span, would you still stick with it if I told you in 2 years you could make a $500,000? I think all of us would say yes. And the truth is that legit happens. And we see this in the business a lot. That's why convention is also very important because you get to physically see these people from different countries. It's not just people right here. I mean, we're talking about people who had no homes. We're talking about people who had was starting this because if they could just get $250 a week to send their kid to daycare and making millions of dollars. So you just gotta just maybe just trust me that I'm telling you guys I wouldn't bring you here this far for nothing. Take my word for it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm close to making six figures, which I would never in my life see happening at all. So if I can do it, 100% y'all can do it. Because
All
a
about
lot of you have
mindset.
gifts even more than I have. So
Yes.
you just got to encourage yourself, get excited, use my story if you need to. Uh, but that's what y'all got to figure out what your why is. That's very important tonight.
And it's all about mindset, guys. It's all about mindset. It's all about speaking it into existence. It really is. It's all about looking at it like this. I believed in this. I started it. It's gonna work because I'm gonna show you how it works. And that's what it's about, y'all. It's all about mindset. And you've got to change your mindset.
A lot of y'all are very strong-willed. Y'all just need to use that's a good trait. Be strong-willed against the devil. Be strong-willed about everything that tells you can't do it. Like you can be strong-willed for a good purpose. So you can be strong-willed enough to say, over my dead body, am I going to fail at this? Ain't going to happen. And I know a lot of you are could be stubborn enough to make sure this ain't going to happen. I'm not going to fail. If you had that mindset and if you was that intense about it, it's going to happen.
Correct.
I know a lot of y'all have the pinnacle. I actually do too, and it's started 3 minutes ago.
Thing about it is half of you probably won't be able to get on the pinnacle because it maxes out at 1,000, and everybody will be talking about I couldn't get on, but it will be recorded and
Oh,
posted.
will it? Okay.
They record it and it's posted, and you can go back and watch it throughout
Okay.
the week. I'm just
Well,
letting
that's
y'all know.
good to know. Well, good
Yeah.
because we did not know that.
All the pinnacles are recorded and then they post the recording so you can go back in and you can watch it. I love that because I can watch it and then if something happens, I can pause it and then play it and then keep going. So they're all recorded, every one of them.
Yeah.
So
All right. I do think I'm giving y'all homework. I'm not a teacher, so it feels good I can do this. So, homework. I need everybody to figure out what your why is. And if you don't feel emotional about it, that's probably not your why.
you want
Okay.
to give a short little, if you can think back. I know it's hard to think back, just so people understand this. I know we've done this a long time ago, but there's a lot of new people. If I were to ask you in the very, very beginning, Lindsay, what was your why? Why'd you start? Just in the
Uh,
beginning.
reason I started is I wanted to have something for myself
Why did you want to have something for yourself?
because I'm very busy parent, pastor's wife. I've got 4 kids. And as a mom, you give, but sometimes you don't have time to just like have your own thing, your own kind of hobby. Also, you don't have a lot, not a lot of people have enough money to travel with 4 kids. That's a lot
Why do you want to have money to travel with 4 kids?
because I want my kids to have memories. I want them to, when they grow up and get out of the house, to not just say, yeah, we had a couple of gifts that we threw away. We play with the box more than we play with the toy. Like I want them to
Why,
say, hey, my I was able to travel the world
why is that important to you?
Well, one, because I want them to see new areas. I want them to see that not everybody is as fortunate as us. It goes back to the ministry mindset that um, we're very, very blessed. Whenever I want to be able to give to people, I want to be able to. Uh, the Lord told me one time that we would needed to pay for somebody's meal, and we couldn't afford it. So that would be like, okay, this is officially a problem. So we either have a major budgeting problem or we need to increase our income
Why is it
because
important for you to pay for someone's meal?
this is all about ministry. This whole business is ministry to me.
Why is ministry important to you? Do y'all get what I'm doing
Mhm.
here? Do y'all understand what I'm doing? Like she's given some of the best. I mean, I got chills on me,
Mm.
but she's given good answers, but she's still not all the way down deep. So you keep asking yourself, but why? But why is that important? But why? Because you think, okay, I started because I wanted to travel with my family. But it gets so much deeper than that. So you just keep asking yourself why. If you do that,
Right.
your mind's gonna change. Your mindset's gonna change about this business and how important it is to you. I just kind of wanted to
Mhm.
give that example, and Lindsay's a great one to use.
Caitlin asked, "What's the best way for to get them on that personal level?"
I've al-
Personally,
I
I asked
answered
some
that.
questions. Oh, you did answer that one. Okay.
Yeah, I told her to get them offline and
Yeah.
chat with them, ask them questions, get to know them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I almost treat it like an interview process, not that they don't think I'm interviewing them.
no,
But in the real world, if I'm looking to people to bring on, I'm going to ask them personal questions. I want to get to know them.
yes. Yep. So what's the homework? The why?
Yep, the why. I need everybody to write the why and let me know. I want to know what your why is. I want to know because I want to help you achieve those goals. And so when I know what your goals are and I know why you need those, that drives me to help you get there. All right. Has anybody got anything else? But I will say, y'all remember the whole point of this conversation is to remember we are launching everybody on September 18th. This is to create an urgency. You can word it however you want to, but if you can word it of our director has opened up a time on this date, and this is the only day that she's given us. Um, you know, this is what this is going to create. Okay, they're serious about this business. Yes or no, you know. And if they drag it out and there's like it may be another day or two past the 18th, completely okay. I understand. But yeah, unfortunately, you will need to wait. I'll let you know when she gives us the next date. Just bottom line. So,
Sign ups close on this date.
yeah.